Hello, my name is Richard Dorsey, and I want to give you guys my disposition on becoming a certified teacher. We all know that dispositions are values, the commitments, and professional ethics that influence behaviors towards students, families, colleagues, and communities, and affect student learning with motivation and development, as well as the educator's own personal growth. So, within this disposition, I want to answer three questions. The first question being, what is the teacher's role in supporting learning, improving in planning and practice, upholding professional expectations, and collaboratively advancing the profession? So, I want to pull this question out and pick out and just kind of like separate it so I can answer everything. So, number one, what is my role in supporting learning? Currently, I am already a teacher. I've been teaching for the past 4 years, and I'm currently in my fifth year. So, with that, I have to say that when it comes to supporting learning, it is my job, and I do believe that I am supposed to be effective in completing lessons that not only promote growth but promote interest in whatever it is that I'm teaching. I currently teach mathematics. So we all know that mathematics is sometimes a drag for students to get the hang of or get with, but it is my job as a professional, not only just teacher but also a professional learner, that I create safe spaces where kids are open and free to ask questions without any ridicule, without any concern, without any negativity. I do believe that that's how I can help support learning, because and not only just allow them to ask questions, but also give them space to where if they learn differently or they have the opportunity to have a one-on-one space with me, that we can do that. Part two of that question says, how am I improving planning and practice? So with that, I will be honest and say, when it comes to teacher planning or lesson planning, therefore I have to take into account all of the standards that we're doing. I have to take into account what the school requires us to do, a template and all that good stuff. So within that lesson plan, I have to implement where students are going to practice on their own, as we use the motto, I do, we do, you do. So therefore I have to implement that type of plan and that particular model within my lesson plan. So I may be teaching, say for instance, like exponents. I may be teaching them how to turn a negative exponent into a positive exponent. That practice will come from me doing it first. And then secondly, we will practice with the we do. After we do the we do, then you're on your own to practice further and explore the technique and explore the lesson on your own a little bit. So with that, I've had to plan effectively, promote stuff and promote ideas and things that I know that will grab certain students' attention. And from grabbing their attention, I have to put stuff in place to where it makes them more excited to learn versus just making it just an everyday task. And then from the planning comes the whole practice piece where the students are really, really engaged in it and doing what they need to do. Upholding professional expectations. So when it comes to upholding professional expectations, different let's say different school systems have different expectations. They're overall kind of sort of the same, whereas the teachers are at school. Teachers are teaching classes and doing what they need to do to make sure that like grades are being put in and all that good stuff. So I do believe that because I've been doing this for the past 4 years, that I do have to have some kind of strength when it comes to those professional expectations. But that doesn't just stop at like inputting grades or showing up to work. It also has attributes where is how do you look when you come to work? Are you professionally dressed? Are you not professionally dressed? So therefore, I do believe that if I am going to be the professional, I have to model what professionalism looks like to my students. And the last part of that question says, and collaboratively working into advancing the profession. Currently, I am seeking out to get my certification in mathematics in grades 7 through 12. And also, hopefully in the future, I'll progress not only just from being a teacher with a certified teacher, but also to into the field of like a math coach, or if beyond the arena of a math coach, go into math curriculum planning for the school district. That's what my desire is. The second question that I have is, what dispositions do you currently possess that will make you a successful teacher? What dispositions do you need to work on before you enter the classroom as a first year teacher? I can honestly say, since I've been teaching for 4 years, my first year as a teacher was really, really, really rough. I didn't expect everything that I encountered. And also teaching in Baltimore City, I really, really didn't. I always thought that the kids were the same everywhere, when in reality they really weren't. Some kids, some students need a little bit more, need more of a push, need more of a reason, and they always won't get that reason from parents. So sometimes they have to get that reason from a teacher. So, um, my disposition of having an expectation that students were way above the mark, and when reality was I had to build them up to that. Yeah, I would lose that expectation. I would really not want to have. I wish I didn't have that expectation in my first year coming in. I wish I came in as with a blank slate, that nobody had ever taught me anything, or everybody had ever never explained anything to me concerning teaching. Um, and what do I currently possess as makes me a successful teacher? Well, I possess values that says that every student can learn. Every student that walks across my threshold of my classroom, I believe that they can learn. I believe that they're capable of doing great things. So that's something that I do believe that great teachers have. Great teachers have to have that compassion. They have to have that sternness. They have to have that belief that once you walk into this room, you belong to me. You're now my student. You're now my child. So therefore, I have to take care of you, nurture you, and make sure that I'm growing you up in the way that's going to be successful and promote you in the next year. And then thirdly, my last question says, what effect could personal biases have on teaching and learning according to the expectations of the profession? How should biases be taken into perspective? I want to say that if I have any personal biases when it comes to teaching and learning, then therefore teaching may not be for you. If you have strong biases that like against, you don't want to teach students that are on a lower level, that are on low baseline levels, then therefore you might want to seek out a school that doesn't service, that doesn't have a high population of low students, or sometimes like people call, say, Title One students. You might want to seek out a school that's like an IB school, an IB program school. You might want to seek out one of those schools, if you have that bias, or you may not. You may not need to be in a classroom. I do believe that teaching and learning goes hand in hand. Every day we're teaching, whether we're in a classroom or not, regardless of what it may be. I may teach math in the classroom, but in the hallway, I may see someone or see a student who may have acted out of hand, and I may have to correct that student. Again, I'm yet teaching in order to make that student better. I'm giving that student a different lesson. It may not be in the classroom, but it's a lesson about life is what I'm giving that student. So when it comes to being professional, I have to make sure that I keep the professional hat on at all times, regardless of what situation may come, regardless of what may happen. I have to maintain that professionalism, and I have to make sure that my students understand, even whether they're in the classroom or outside of the classroom, they understand that their teacher is going to be professional. Their teacher is going to be respectful. The teacher is going to be mannerable enough to where they can respect them as well as they respect us. So that's my disposition on becoming a teacher, a certified teacher. I look forward to sharing much, much more with you. Thank you.